Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Growing up, I had to rely on old technology to find information. There was something called a card catalog at the library, and this would be a building where you could find these I don't know how to explain it. Manuals. They were often called books. They were usually on some kind of papyrus, printed with like ink, like you would normally find in, like a stylus. Only a stylus that could actually eject something forth onto a surface. And these were mass produced. These I guess papers inside and bound inside these things they called, well, sometimes manuals and books, and they even had this thing called an encyclopedia set, and it was like usually about 26 or 27 large books that would be on a shelf in the library. And again, I realize I'm using terms that a lot of today's youth is not familiar with, but bear with me. Hopefully you'll understand what's happening here. So these large books would be on the shelf, 26 or 27. Each one of these books contained within it everything that started with that particular letter. So 26 letters in the English alphabet. So like volume A or volume 1 would have everything that began with the letter A. And in this encyclopedia, in the volume A, you could open up a page and go and read everything there was possibly to know about the aardvark, or the I don't know, something else that begins with the letter A. Apple. There you go. And then you would be able to attain all this knowledge about these well, words, and of course terms and people. I mean, you just imagine anything. Well, so in this encyclopedia set, every year there'd be a new set. And you would buy this set either through someone who came door to door and said, "Hey, I'm selling this thing called the encyclopedia," and in some cases from some nerdy guy on television. There was someone who'd sell this encyclopedia set, and sometimes you could buy this encyclopedia set from the grocery store. They would sell a different volume every week, and if you missed the letter G, then you have no idea what gravity is. There's no other way of looking it up, and you would use these books in this encyclopedia set to research, and you would quote from here, a text on, let's say, well, let's use the word gravity, or the concept, when you were writing a book report on a particular subject, and you would have to, physically take this stylus that would eject some form of ink onto what they would call paper, and then you would basically copy it. You would transcribe this, and you would do this at the library sometimes, or if your parents were rich enough to be able to afford an encyclopedia set that would sometimes cost thousands of dollars, for these books. Well, okay, it's not $2,000 for just one volume. That'd be crazy. I mean, who'd pay that much? No, it'd be like $2,000 or some odd for 26 or 27 volumes put together to form one particular encyclopedia set. Well, I'm explaining all this to get to the particular question that has to do with something called Wikipedia. I am not high. Alexito asks, whenever I do research for school, the very first place I look is Wikipedia. The site has everything I ever needed and more. However, some of my teachers disapprove of the site, saying that it is unreliable because anyone can edit it. I don't think so. Is Wikipedia a good site for research? Thanks. Well, Alexito, I would say it's an excellent site for research, but in terms of discovering truth and facts, no site on the web, no book on the planet, nowhere is going to be the definitive resource. The idea of doing research is that you compile information from a variety of sources. So whether it's from one book or a set of books, or from a website, whether it's Wikipedia or not, so long as you collect information from a distributed amount of resources, you are going to be closer to facts or closer to the truth. And this is something I've argued for years. I think the biggest skill that you can learn and develop as a human being is a skill that they're not going to be able to teach you effectively in a school. you're going to have to do a lot of work on your own, and this is, again, going to happen over the course of your lifetime. It's something called critical thinking, and part of critical thinking is doing critical research and being critical about every single thing that you look at, because there is no one single resource that has 100% truth, because you know what? Truth is relative. Did you realize that in 1949, doctors were saying that cigarettes were healthy for you? Yeah, they even had them on television. Okay, they weren't making those exact noises, but you can definitely tell they were enjoying these cancer sticks. Of course, now some people would argue, well, there hasn't been a direct correlation between cancer and cigarettes. It's all a bunch of hooey. It's hooey. And of course, they're smoking at the same time. Point is truth changes over time. What today's truth may not be the truth tomorrow. We always discover new things about our world and in life and just everything around us. So taking one resource as that is it definitively, you're really making a mistake. Wikipedia is edited by peers, and in that sense is a little stronger in some cases, but can also be heavily influenced by bias. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that no other resource for information is not going to be equally as biased or not even be near as complete as a web page that the entire world has the ability to edit. There's going to be controversy surrounding certain topics over others, cigarettes being one of them, I'd imagine, especially when there are companies and brands at stake with negative information. And negative information could be equally as truthful as positive information. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be restricting yourself to one resource. So your teacher is correct. Absolutely, 100%. It is not always going to be accurate. But where I think your teacher may be making a mistake is not saying that Wikipedia provides value. You just can't look at Wikipedia as the only one place for information on the web. You have to look to a variety of sources, and this applies to anybody and everybody, whether you're still in school or not. Don't listen to one particular television station, one particular radio station, one particular journalist, one particular blogger. Even a group of bloggers have a thing called groupthink going on, or an echo chamber, as we like to talk about, at least within the technology blogosphere. The more information you can collect from a variety of sources, especially if they're contradicting opinions, the closer you're going to come to finding your own truth. Because again, the bottom line is truth is relative. You can only construct an argument based on the facts that are out there about anything. So, what's everybody else's opinion? Do you remember using an encyclopedia to do research way back when? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take so much time to prove my point of how painful it used to be to research compared to the luxury of the internet today. But I'm just curious, what's your ideas as far as critical thinking goes and doing research, or including Wikipedia, or specifically excluding it from doing research for the reasons that Alexito's teacher had tried to explain to him or her. Anyway, we're interested. Go ahead and leave a comment, follow-up, story. If you ever had an encyclopedia set or your parents were lucky enough to get one for you, and you didn't have to spend hours and hours and hours at the library with writer's cramp after you're finished copying 3 paragraphs from the encyclopedia. Anyway, I'm interested, and of course everybody in the chat room is too. What are your thoughts on Wikipedia and beyond? We're always there 24 hours a day, whether I'm here or not. My friends certainly are, and that URL, if they haven't already popped it in there, is live.pirillo.com.